Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to another video on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny and today's video is going to be something that was highly requested at our last Galactic Guidance Live. So Galactic Guidance is a series on Instagram. It's a live series where we do Q&A and interact with one another. So that we have like more of a back and forth and I can get to know you a little bit better and see the kinds of things that you're interested in. And what came up was walk-ins, so walk-in souls. And a lot of people had questions and were very interested about this topic, so I thought, why not do a video on this? I did some like Q&A on my own, like some research with the Galactic Federation of Light last night and got the information for the video. Some of it's pretty surprising, and then there's quite a few details and explanations on the different scenarios of why this might happen. Like, why would a soul choose to do something like that on either end, being the walk-in or being the one that leaves? So we're going to talk all about that. And before we do, I just want to remind you, please, to like this video, click like, give it a thumbs up, share this video when you're done, and make sure that you're subscribed here because there's new videos every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. So let's dive right in. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that this is definitely a mutual agreement between the two souls. So please don't allow any fear to enter into this topic. I think that some people were a little bit freaked out by the idea, and I get that. It's weird, right? But it's always going to be by choice. But there are definitely different scenarios where you might make that decision, whether beforehand or during a lifetime. So let's talk about that. A walk-in soul is when two souls swap places, essentially. That's the easiest way to describe it. So there's a soul in the physical incarnation. So we'll use me as an example. So here I am as Jenny, and that at a certain age, I decide to swap with another soul. I leave and go back as if I died, really, to be honest, because you leave the body, but another soul comes in and takes my place to continue this lifetime so that Jenny, the avatar, the human, that lifetime continues, but it's a different soul inside at that point. So there's a lot of scenarios. Let's talk about first when they are decided upon, like when the swap is a part of the soul contract. So beforehand, it's already decided, okay? So if we're using me as an example, then this is something that I decided before I even was born here. So when you make your soul contracts to make decisions and make choices about your incarnation, you do that with your soul group. And you choose your parents, you choose your siblings, you choose the soulmate contracts, and there's usually more than one that could come into place should you decide. So why would you choose a walk-in soul beforehand? Why would I choose to leave if it was me leaving and letting another soul come in and take my place? So the first scenario would be that it's for karmic balance. So if there was something between me and the other soul, so there's two souls taking part in this, that needed balancing. So essentially, maybe I was a perpetrator to them or an aggressor or not the best to them, and I didn't treat them well in a previous lifetime. I could gift them with this opportunity by taking on like a really difficult childhood for them and then opening the floor for them to take it up after. So as you know, most times starseeds have fairly difficult childhoods. It's difficult for us to fit in. We generally choose, well, a lot of us choose really difficult families, dense families and parents, and a lot of big lessons are learned through that childhood period. So if you wanted to do that for someone, that could definitely be something that happens. And then they come in, and as they come in after that difficult childhood, they get to then keep the growth and the lessons because all of that is stored in your mind and within the body as well. And they would still have the memories of being a childhood because they exist within the brain of the human, They just would not have, experienced them themselves. And then they would pick up that lifetime and do whatever it is that they were hoping to do, whether that was a spiritual mission or a personal mission or whatever. We know that there are so many earth missions and life purposes, right? So that's one opportunity there, is a karmic balance walk-in. Another one that came up that was super interesting was twin flames, wanting to have the same experience, to understand one another and be even closer. And, also probably just for curiosity's sake and for the experience of it. Why not, right? So if your twin flame came in and lived a half a life and then you lived the second half, you would definitely be guides for one another in the spirit team during the incarnation, and then you'd swap places, and then the other one would become the guide and this one would come into the physical experience. So, that's definitely an option. Anything that we can imagine would really be a reason for something like this. It's very unlimited, but when you're choosing it before you incarnate, then it's going to be something like the karmic balance, or just to experience something together. So if the walk-in were not contracted and it happened unexpectedly, why would something like that happen? So the first instance would be that the soul in the incarnation is not doing well. They're just not. They're really struggling and they're really suffering, and they're not handling it well. Maybe they're not handling it the way that they hope to, and they don't want to continue. But they don't want to lose. That lifetime, being given a human body is a huge gift. It's a blessing. And there would be no reason to want to waste something like that if you didn't have to. So if a soul was feeling like they did not want to continue, and they reached out to their team and they asked for this, then it would be considered very seriously. Everything would be looked at by their councils and a decision would be made. But that's definitely happened, and that's definitely a potential for a soul who was suffering that much, to the point where they were ready to end things. Then probably somebody could come in and relieve them of all of that pain, take over, and then the other soul goes back for the healing that they need. Another instance that came up where the walk-in happens without it being in a soul contract, like it just happens in the moment kind of thing. Another reason for that would be that you are needed elsewhere, and that can happen. It could happen. So say me, we keep using me as an example, say all of a sudden my twin flame needs me terribly. Like something has happened, they've had an incarnation that went badly, or there's a million reasons why they could need you. This would not be a light decision. It would have to be something really, really unbelievable, so serious for you to give up this gift of a human body. Because in truth, when we're sleeping at night, we are astral traveling. We are leaving the body anyway and going and spending times with our team and our twin flame. So likely you could take care of it in your time at night when you're astral traveling, and in your communication with your twin flame. You can speak to them now. They're a member of your team, likely, if you're a starseed here on Earth. So you can develop that relationship now and speak to them now. So it's rare that you would have to leave, right? Because you can deal with it in the astral realms when you're sleeping, or in your communications, and hopefully work through whatever trauma or whatever has happened in that way. And then another thing would be, well, maybe your council really needs you. We are a part, as starseeds, you guys are all so advanced. You are already, from these higher realms, parts of these councils, likely more than one even. So say one of your councils, say you are a part of the Pleiadian Council of Light, and say that council needs you terribly and they can't wait, and it's something that your specific frequency, your soul signature, is the only one that can do whatever this is, then maybe that's a reason too. But the same thing applies. That would be so rare, because at night when you're astral traveling, you could go and do those things. And we know that we do. All of the dreams that you remember are memories. Dream is a human term. It's a label given to the memories that we have of what we're up to at night. Our souls are having meetings, doing these missions, living these parallel lifetimes. I've shared before that Like I often go into like a parallel life and live out a lot of like a day of that person's life or that version of me's life. I shared in the last Galactic guidance that in the first Galactic guidance that we did, that I, woke up in a dream and I was this young girl with, short black hair, and I was a waitress, and I worked that whole shift. I served people, I was behind the bar, I was bussing tables, like I literally worked that shift. It was so clear. And then when the shift was over and it was time for me to leave, I woke up and I was like, what was that? Like, it was just so strange. You'll have these parallel moments that seem so like just normal, but they're these parallel lifetimes. Like you're meeting with girlfriends, you're shopping, you're meeting with your parents, or you're in your childhood home, like all parallel lives on these alternate timelines where you have all of these versions of yourself living out similar lives, but with all of these differences too. So our astral time is very detailed, and we would likely be able to do and clear up anything that people, like if your twin flame is needing you, if your counsel is needing you, a million other reasons why someone might need you. There are so many. But I'm sure that, 99%, most of the time, you could take care of that in your astral. So again, I feel like that would be very rare. I feel like it would be more of the karmic balance one, or just for the experience, the ones that were decided on in your soul contracts before you even came, already pre-decided. Or if in the moment a soul just can't handle it anymore and they want out, that would definitely be an opportunity there as well. So those three situations and scenarios would be much more likely than someone just needing you, because they would never interrupt your incarnation in that way. Like, it's sacred. So how do you know if you are a walk-in? I mean, you couldn't know if you are the before soul. You wouldn't know, right? But if you are the walk-in soul, the second soul that came in, how would you know? So your childhood memories, or maybe not necessarily childhood, because what if this happens in your 30s, right? But the memories before the walk-in would be your memories, and you would have the memories in your mind, but it would feel like they happened to someone else. Like when you think of it, it's like you weren't really the one that was there, yet you remember it. Also, your personality after the walk-in would go in a different direction, like it would change. It would be gradual. It's not an instant, all of a sudden you're this other person. It's not instant. It could be gradual. So it might not be an instant change, but you definitely would be a different person from the first original soul. And that being said, you would want different things than they wanted. So you would start to make changes in your life. Perhaps you change your partner, you change where you live, you change your job, your interests and hobbies would be different. That would be key, right? Because we don't want to confuse this with a spiritual awakening. Because I just want to say right now that all of this stuff happens during a spiritual awakening, and it doesn't mean that you're a walk-in. Like personally, I changed everything. I left a long-term relationship, I left my home, I left my town, I left my job, and I just moved and started over. That doesn't mean I was a walk-in soul, and I don't believe that I am, but I had a very huge spiritual awakening that kind of woke me up and helped me to see that I wasn't happy and that those things were not serving me anymore. And I needed to start over in this new light, in this new energy. And so it's easy to confuse the two, especially like with me, when you have a Kundalini awakening, it's so intense. And it feels like you become a new person, because all of your soul itself comes down into the body, or more of your soul, right? So the more you awaken and the more room you make in your body, the more healing you do, the more dense energy that you clear, the more of your soul comes down into your physical self, and you start getting that super ultra clear awareness, psychic gifts, feeling more like yourself, all of that. So it would be very easy to confuse the two. But I also feel like a walk-in soul would just know. Like, wouldn't you just know something like that? If you were the walk-in soul, would you not know that? Like, I mean, I don't know for sure because I'm not one, But I'll throw that question out to you. Is there anyone out there that is a walk-in soul? Because it's rare, but it happens. It's definitely possible, right? That somebody watching right now is a walk-in soul. Do you know? What does that feel like? How do you just know? Like, I truly believe that there would be a part of you that would know. But I can't describe what that would feel like because I am not one. So please, if there's someone out there that can describe for us what that feels like, that would be so helpful. Please comment that in the comments down below. And if you're comfortable, I mean, that would be very amazing and very helpful for the community and for myself to understand this on that new level. And to the rest of you, I think this is very rare. What do you think? Do you think it's a rare scenario to have a walk-in? Or do you feel like it's quite common and you've got lots of people that you think that might be or that think that they are? Definitely let me know down below if I'm right and that this is quite rare and like a very particular, like specific scenario would cause it, right? Like it's not an everyday occurrence, I don't believe anyway. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I wanna know what you think. I really look forward to reading those comments. And again, please remember to click like. I really appreciate that. It encourages me and it helps me to know what topics you guys like and want to talk about. But most importantly, make sure you are subscribed for the new videos every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. You can turn on notifications and then they will just automatically alert you when there's a new video. Because I also started uploading the Instagram Galactic guidance lives, and those will just be whenever I can get the upload to happen because I have slow internet out here in the country. So those won't be usually Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. It'll be some other day. So if you have your notifications turned on, it will alert you to that. So that's really helpful. And remember that there's always the opportunity to work with me personally. I have one-on-one sessions, healing sessions, readings, all kinds of stuff. Check the links in the description of this video to see more on what I offer. And you can also join the newsletter. It's an email list. I'm growing that, and then I'm going to start sending out these emails or newsletters on a regular basis just about the things that I'm learning and things that are coming up for me, like ascension symptoms or the lessons that I'm working through or the limiting beliefs. And a lot of time when one of us is going through those things, it resonates for the group because we are all so connected here. That's why we're all like magnetized to one another, right? Like we're all creating this community because we're all going through the same things. And that's so beautiful that we're finding each other and continue to find one another. And then of course, before I say goodbye for the day, I want to remind you to listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.